Welcome to this academic listening practice. If you're preparing for an academic English exam or studying in an English-speaking environment, this activity is designed to help you strengthen the listening skills you really need. In this recording, you'll hear an academic-style talk on a real topic, similar to what you might encounter in university lectures or formal assessments. To get the most out of this practice, make sure you have the worksheet ready. You can download it using the link provided in the video description and print it out if you wish. Start by completing the vocabulary activity first. This will introduce some of the key words used in the recording and help you follow the ideas more easily. Then listen to the audio once without writing anything, focusing only on the main ideas and overall message. After that, listen again and complete the questions on the worksheet. You can pause the audio if needed and work at your own pace. Pay close attention to spelling and word limits, as these are important in academic listening tests. Once you've finished, you can use the answer key included in the worksheet to check your answers and reflect on your performance. This practice is designed to help you build confidence, improve accuracy, and develop effective listening strategies for any academic English exam. Take your time, stay focused, and enjoy the listening.
What if I told you that one of the world's most iconic buildings started as nothing more than a few sketchy drawings that almost got thrown in the reject pile? The Sydney Opera House story is about to challenge everything you think you know about architectural innovation.
You know what fascinates me most about this whole saga? The building that now defines Australia's identity wasn't even designed by an Australian.
That's right. And here's where it gets interesting. In 1957, this Danish architect named Jørn Utzon submits these incredibly abstract drawings to an international competition. We're talking basic sketches that looked more like art than architecture.
Mm-hmm. And the only reason those drawings weren't immediately discarded was because Eero Saarinen, this brilliant American architect, showed up late to the judging and literally pulled them out of the rejection pile.
Well, that's what I call a close call. You know what's even more mind-blowing? The original budget was set at 7 million Australian dollars. Want to guess what the final cost was?
Oh, let me think. Given how these things usually go, maybe double that?
Try $102 million. That's more than 14 times the original estimate. And here's the kicker. It took 16 years to complete, instead of the planned 4 years.
You know what's fascinating about those famous shells? Utzon actually got the inspiration from peeling an orange. He realized that all the segments could be created from sections of a sphere.
That's exactly right, and that geometric solution was absolutely brilliant. But getting there? Well, that's where things get really interesting. The engineers spent years trying to figure out how to actually build these massive curved structures.
And meanwhile, the political pressure was mounting. I mean, imagine trying to explain to taxpayers why you're spending millions on something that nobody was even sure could be built.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the engineering challenges. The original design called for these massive concrete shells that would somehow support themselves. The technology to build something like that didn't even exist yet.
So how did they finally solve it?
Well, that's where this brilliant engineering firm, Ove Arup and Partners, comes in. They developed this revolutionary system using precast concrete segments, all derived from the same sphere geometry. But here's the thing. It took them 3 years just to figure that out.
The whole project really pushed the boundaries of what was possible with concrete at the time. I mean, they had to invent new construction techniques just to make it work.
And let's not forget about the interior drama. When Utzon resigned in 1966, or was forced out, depending on who you ask, the new architects completely changed his vision for the interior spaces.
That must have been heartbreaking for him. Imagine creating something so revolutionary and then watching others change your vision.
Well, here's where the story takes an interesting turn. In the late 1990s, the Opera House Trust actually reached out to Utzon to help develop guidelines for future changes to the building. It was like a long overdue reconciliation.
That's such a powerful moment. the prodigal architect returning, at least in spirit, to his masterpiece. Though he never actually went back to Australia. Did he?
No, he never did. But you know what's really interesting? His son Jan worked with the trust to help implement his father's design principles. It's like the next generation healing the wounds of the past.
The building has certainly proved its worth, though. I mean, it generates over $1 billion annually for the Australian economy and attracts more than 8 million visitors each year.
And here's something that might surprise people. The Opera House was actually added to the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2007, making it one of the youngest buildings ever to receive that honor.
You know what really strikes me about this whole story? It's how it shows that sometimes the most controversial projects become the most beloved landmarks.
Exactly. And speaking of controversy, let's talk about those acoustics. The main concert hall has had its share of criticism from musicians over the years.
Well, that's what happens when you prioritize visual impact over functional design, right?
But here's the thing, they're actually working on fixing that now. There's a $275 million renewal project underway to improve the acoustics while preserving the building's iconic appearance.
It's amazing how this building keeps evolving. It's almost like it's a living thing.
And that brings us to the bigger question. What does the Sydney Opera House teach us about taking risks in architecture today?
I suppose it shows that sometimes the craziest ideas turn out to be the most visionary. But would anyone dare to be that ambitious now?
Well, look at some of the projects happening in places like Dubai or Shanghai. We're still pushing boundaries, but maybe we're better at managing the risks now.
Though I wonder if we've lost something in the process. That willingness to take a complete leap into the unknown.
You know what? Maybe that's the real legacy of the Sydney Opera House. It reminds us that great achievements often require great risks. And sometimes those sketchy drawings that almost end up in the reject pile, they might just change the world.
That's such a perfect way to wrap this up. It's not just about the building itself. It's about the courage to dream big.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. What would our cities look like if we stopped playing it safe and started dreaming as big as Jørn Utzon did back in 1957? Until next time, everyone.
This is the end of today's academic listening practice. If you found it helpful, like the video and subscribe to the channel for more academic English listening practice.